Hi and welcome back to my channel. Now, who would have thought it? I'm supposed to be giving up, and the very next day I've got another video. I did a review of these Mission 700 leading edge speakers yesterday, and to all fairness, I did think these would be pretty good, to be honest with you. Not that they were bad, I still thought they was pretty good, just lacking a little bit of bass, I thought, with my little Sansui 331, which is I quite like this receiver. It's one of my favourite receivers, one of my favourite amplifiers. I do like getting it out and putting it on, and I've had a recap of it, as some of you probably know, apart from the power supply now, and I thought I'd done a fairly good job. Not that I'd really done a lot, I just changed some capacitors, there's no big feat there, but after a little recap and that, I thought it sounded quite nice. As the receiver I like to listen to, had that kind of sound that I liked. So yeah, a bit disappointed, that would be the thing, after putting these speakers on it, and it weren't quite as much bass as I wanted to the bottom end there, but as soon as I moved it up something a bit more powerful, wattage wise, and with a bit more grunt, because this gives out some bass, don't get me wrong, but in that video yesterday I probably maybe done it an injustice. It does give out the bass, it's just I thought maybe just being that 11 watts that it's a bit more, it's got a bit more of a relaxed kind of sound, that maybe that's contributed, that it couldn't quite, I won't say drive these speakers, but it weren't getting through kind of thing, it didn't suit this amplifier maybe, which is a little bit of a surprise, because everything seems to suit this amplifier, but it is what it is. But like I say, when I started up in the wattages, I thought, oh yeah, I'm getting some more bass out of these. To the extent I had these on the wall with the Sansui to get as much bass as I could out of them, and I left it there for the rest of the review, even though these were fine, bringing the speakers off the wall, these were fine, these had enough grunt to get the bass going, these were okay kind of thing off the wall, but this I had to get it on the wall to kind of get some bass. I'm going to give you a little demonstration today. I don't do any of these music demonstrations. We're going to have a little demonstration as well today after my little bit of a recap. So this is all come about, lucky enough, because these were not the scrappy, because I do like taking them apart and trying to help other people out. I usually put them up on eBay for a few pound less than what they usually go for. If a tweeter or driver goes for £15, I'll put it up for £12 or £10, something like that, just to recoup some of my money, and hopefully do someone a favour down the other end, you know what I mean? Obviously they're blown, or bought a pair of blown speakers, etc. Anyway, I had a message come through from, let's get these people right, I want to name them out, I hope they don't mind. D1NO2, I think I've got that right. He's one of the people that follow my channel, and pops up with a question here and there, or some advice on whatever, so it's great. I mean, a lot of people do that, a lot of people are regulars, every single, come up with a comment all the time kind of thing, which is great, you know what I mean? I do like the feedback, it's good, especially if it's a positive, but I don't want the negatives, because let's put it, don't get it like, I don't want all positives, it's got to be some negatives, it's going to put you on a pedestal, you're going to be like, I think some of these reviewers that take over, they think like they're God kind of thing, which I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's something wrong, I'll hold my hands up to it, something's wrong, I've done something wrong, fair enough. I'm being taught all the time, other people know a lot more than me. And going back to a video I put up ages ago, I know nothing about hi-fi. I know a little bit, it's a sound that I like, but I'm not claiming to be any expert here at all. It's just things that I like and I think sound good, and I'll pass it on, and hopefully someone gets a benefit out of it, that kind of thing. But yeah, if my eyes are watering, my eyes ain't great, you know what I mean? This is one of the reasons I'm going to be eyes a little bit of a rest. They've been really sore, and this one's been playing me up quite a bit. So don't say too much, but I wanted to get the video out today, because I don't want to do any more for a little while now, hopefully. May pop up with some rubbish, but that'd be it. Anyway, going back to this, so we're going to have a little sound demo today, a special treat there for everyone. Right, so we got D1NO2, he did come up saying that he's got this receiver, which was great. Had them speakers, that's fantastic. So now I'm getting someone that's on the same page as me, rather than a bit of guesswork, shall we say. And he said that he should sound fine in the room. He's listening to some stuff that the previous night through his telly, etc. And these were fine, these were off the wall, and I should be getting some bass kind of thing out of them. And this should be quite a fast bass as well coming out of here. It should be quite fast and articulate kind of thing. And these are a little bit different, being leading edge, they're ever slightly different sound, but even so I was disappointed a little bit, not vast amount, but I put the work into this, not saying recapping it, and a little bit disappointed, because I thought, I wish it had done well with that amplifier. And it was okay with these two, but I wish it had done well with that, because I do like, to me it's got a nice sweet kind of sounding stuff. It's quite a nice sounding amplifier. So a little bit disappointed. So anyway, he come up with a comment saying that this, that and the other, and he did mention a pair of Wolfdale Diamond 3s that I've got, and it wasn't to his liking, and these were much better kind of thing in his opinion. Everyone's got their opinion, obviously, but he did also mention that the crossover that I misread it. I thought he meant a crossover and these could be shot, or worse, that effect he come out with. And I thought, oh well, maybe that's worth giving it a little go, but it wasn't. He's referring to the Diamond Freeze he had, saying that that crossover may have been dodgy, because it's got quite a big cap across the bass speaker there. I can't remember what it is. Is it 22 microfarads, something like that? And then he said the bass was a little bit behind the top end. And wasn't great, but on mine they sound fine. You know what I mean? I really like them. As you know, I really like them Diamond Freeze. A speaker I do like. Yeah, sorry. This one is playing me up a bit today. But anyway, I want to get this video out, and hopefully this is not going to be too bad as we go through. Right, so that was that. So that kind of got me on the ball for maybe I should change the capacitors in these crossovers. And I did have another comment later on in the evening. Pretty late, I was just about going to bed actually, I'm hoping I'm getting this is right, gluten-free range, maybe he sells some eggs or something, maybe joking, but anyway, he said he had these speakers, and he did send a comment through, but it didn't actually sharpen the page. It doesn't sharpen the page for some reason. A few other people are having problems with this, maybe it's just me, but maybe it's just YouTube, but I do not stop any comments, and there's been a few other people, and I think sometimes maybe people get a bit irate, because it can be annoying. You tap out a great big long reply or something like that, you press the send button kind of thing, and you think it's going to pop up on the page, nothing. You think I've just wasted all my time giving my opinion for something that ain't going to pop up. But he did put a link in that, and I'll put the link down below to a bloke on a forum that recap these, another link. And I'm glad I read it actually. I didn't actually see that until he actually showed it to me about recapping these, so that was good as well. So that's going to give me a few more ideas of recapping them, but I've recapped them, so just bear with us. And also that bloke did mention on that who done that, and I found it on some tracks it just had a little bit of a boxiness to it, just a little bit, and he put some more wad in. But unfortunately I haven't got any more wad in to try these with at the moment, but I will get some probably from a pair of speakers when I buy them eventually, another pair or something like that. I'll find a bit of wad in or something just to pad them out a bit more. I had the 700s, but I sold the 700s, the normal 700s. I sold them to someone local, come and picked them up recently, so I couldn't even take the wadding out of that. And in fact, when I was taking this apart, I thought I have some spare wadding with a little bit of wadding that's in it. There's not a lot in it, but the little bit in here, I thought that'd be spare when I come to sell it. But I'm going to keep them now. I'm only going to have 3 sets of speakers, but I'm going to make an exception here. They're not a large set of speakers. And now I've got them going, as probably near enough as they should be. I'm pretty pleased. So anyway, what I did, I took the caps out. Now the caps in here are quite small. I'll show you a picture there. There they are on the crossover, and they're glued in as tight as you like. Unbelievably tight, these glued in. And that kind of pries them off. It was a nightmare getting them out, and they're quite small. It's a 3 point. Let's get these right. There's a little 3.3 microfarad there, and there was both different makes actually in one speaker to the other. There's a black one here, and we've got a blue one here. There's 2 different makes here on this speaker. So that was the 2.2, and we've got 3.3, and we've got this little 2.2. It's actually bigger, even though they're all rated at 50 volts. This 2.2 is actually bigger in size. It's probably twice the size as them 3.3s, even though they're still rated at 50 volts. And as soon as I started unsoldering this, trying to get it out, it actually snapped. The actual connection snapped, which is the first time that's ever happened. So a little bit brittle, that connection. But anyway, I managed to get a connection on the top of this to the bottom. My little, I should have actually brought it out, my little meter. And this all read fine really, apart from the ESR. On this, I think it was 16.4 it read, ohms, 16.4 ohms, which seemed a little bit high considering these others were 1 ohm or less than 1 ohm actually, I think they were. So the ESR seemed a bit high on this, and I don't know if that, I couldn't get the other one out. One more thing, I couldn't get the other big one, 2.2, but the bigger capacitor, out the other unit because it's glued in so much, I left it in there. So I didn't measure that one, so I don't know if that's the same or not. But anyway, this one was out anyway, I think. I don't know, maybe you can tell me. I'm not too sure how that would affect the crossover. I'm no expert here in crossovers and coils and all that kind of stuff. I'm not too sure, logically I thought to myself, well surely if that's 16 ohms and it's going to the tweeter, it's going to give less signal going to the tweeter. So maybe, I shouldn't hear it as bright as it is kind of thing, because I just found it just a little bit on the bright side. I probably mentioned in that video, or I did mention in that video. It's okay on some tracks, but some tracks it just seems to be a bit too bright for my liking. Just had that little bit too much brightness. Like I said, if you turned it onto number 2 or something, the brightness, it just gives me that kind of thing. Anyway, cut a long story short, so I changed them. So lucky enough, I wasn't going to, if I didn't have any, I wasn't going to buy some, but I did have some, and this brought another little bit of interest up as it happens. Something else a little bit out of the blue I didn't realise. I'm not too sure what speakers I've got. Oh, by the way, these are in parallel with each other. actually wide up there. I don't know if you can see it on that picture. I'll stick it back up on the screen. It's not very clear, but these are like on top of each other. As someone that was it gluten, so they said piggyback, so that's another way of calling it, I suppose, but in parallel onto each other. And when I measured them with a meter, I think they went 6.6 microfarads in parallel. So these are, you know, they're 6.6. I know they're supposed to be 5.5, but you've got your 20% tolerance and all that. So lucky enough, I found some, these are old caps by the way, and I found some other old caps that I took out of some speakers. I do keep all my old capacitors, or most of them anyway. In fact, these ones here are out of, these are the outputs on this actual receiver here. And I think I've got a couple of the smoothing caps as well out of here. But I do keep quite a few old caps here and there if I can get them all out there, or some of them top up with each other. Anyway, I keep quite a few, so they do come in handy now and again, even though they're old. Well, most of them, there's a couple of new ones in there. But even though they're old, sometimes, you know, if you're swapping it out for something that's completely gone, putting something that's not quite gone, it's going to give a bit of a difference. And that's what's happened here. I'm still going to replace them with something else, but this has kind of tied me over. Give me this last video for a while and an update on this video. So what I've done, these are 6 microfarads, and these were in piggyback, as that person calls it, or parallel. In the other speaker, I can't remember what speaker it is I took them out of, but they were both 2 6 microfarads in parallel. So obviously I cut one off, used it in one speaker and one in the other. As a picture here will show you, that's the new 6 microfarad connected up to these leading edge speakers. But what I did notice is that I picked up one and they were both this blue colour, this lighter blue, and this other one had a darker blue, and I never really looked at it when I took it out. I just naturally thought that this was 6 and the rear one was 6, the back one was 6, this darker one was 6, as it was in the other one. They're both light, they're both 6 microfarads, but having a closer look when I actually done this recap this morning, is that this one's a 6 and this one's actually a 2 microfarad. So that speaker, for some reason, had the wrong capacitor in there. So that's a bit interesting, isn't it? So whoever company, I can't remember what speaker it was, honestly can't, but it's probably on one of my videos. So I'll backtrack and look at some pictures what I put up of the insides. I'm probably going to find out what speaker this was, but I haven't bothered doing that because I want to quickly get this video up on the station on YouTube. But yeah, so that's a 2 microfarad and a 6. So that would have thrown that set of speakers out a little bit. So it just shows you sometimes that you can't always trust the manufacturers or whoever's putting them together. Probably a cheap set of speakers or something like that. But I just thought I'd mention it anyway. Okay, so they're in there now. So I'll give them a test this morning. I was up early, bright and early. Thought give this a go. I wanted to get it out of the way as well, and like I say, bring this video if there's any change. And there is a change. There's a significant change. Now the bass is back. The bass is back with my little Sansui. I've got the bass. I don't need these bigger ones to drive that bass. It's there. You with me? I've got it back now, so I'm really pleased with that. It's more articulate. It's got more detail. It's got more freedom and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely back the bass. The top end has come down a little bit. We kind of shifted, like a little bit of a phase shift there in the sound. Especially to the bottom end anyway, but I've took that little bit of brightness out. I've not quite mastered it, I don't think. It's still a tad there in places that I would like just to take the shine off, maybe, should we say. But it's nowhere, it's not sounding like it's 2 or 3 on the treble too bright on some tracks, that's for certain. So, and don't forget, these are old capacitors, so now if I actually change these capacitors to better ones, either on that site, what that bloke did, I'll just put a link up to earlier, or like I say, that bloke here, subscriber or whatever it is, well, I don't know if it's a subscriber, I'm guessing, but the person that gluten-free range, was it? Gluten-free range, who put up the comment that he did these, maybe you could come back and let me know what capacitors you used. That'd be great, because then I could probably order them and stick them in here, so and get a bit more out of them. So I'm going to keep them now. Nearly went to the scrap heap, shall we say, but I managed to keep hold of them. Now, let's do that sound test now. Now, I've got them off the wall, got the other one behind me here. I put a bit of foam there because there's a bit echo in here. I've moved a few bits around since yesterday. But you're going to have an idea, and I haven't got the right recording equipment either. I used to have this little recorder, and all these microprocessor things, after a while they conk out, and that's exactly what they did. And I haven't used it for a while because I haven't done any recordings, and I thought it's probably not worth me investing in that. Another one, just to talk really, this camera's fine, and like I say, now I'm coming to the end, I'm pretty much glad I didn't waste my money on that as well. Okay, so we're going to do a little sound test. Don't forget the two microphones on this camera are facing upwards, so you're going to get a bit of boominess and echo and all that. But it's going to give you a demonstration there, hopefully, to how these did, how they do sound now compared to how they did sound when I've done that review. It's quite a vast amount of difference, believe me, that this little recap's done. So maybe that's another thing, like on these older speakers, if you've got a pair and they get rave reviews everywhere and you'll get a dodgy set like I did maybe, that maybe changing the caps is a good place to start, rather than maybe just getting shot of them or something like that, especially if lots of people and people you can kind of like go to that's trustworthy, shall we say, in their reviews, say these should sound fine, and maybe look into it a bit more, which I didn't. I'm a bit impatient sometimes. I think, well, they was all right, they weren't bad, they were pretty good, but not quite as good as my Diamonds. And now I can say also, just going back to that, I did say the Diamonds bass was bigger than these, but now it's gone the other way around. They're not by a vast amount, but these are a little bit bigger on these now, so it's been quite a bit of a difference in the bass department. Just thought I'd mention that as well. But I'm keeping my Diamonds, they're not going anywhere, and I want to keep hold of these as well now. Right, let's do this little track. Now I've linked up a little track. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the bass up and down. It's on 0 at the moment. I'm going to turn the treble up and down. That's on 0 at the moment, and you'll see me turn it one way or the other, and you'll get a drift of what's happening. So a little bit of track. I don't know what it's called. It's off the YouTube library. So here we go. That's not it. Oh, right, but it's coming. It's coming. Hold on a sec. This is live stuff, so things do go wrong. Is this the track I wanted to play? There we go, this is it. Bass full on, bass full on. Bass back to 0. Bass on 0, I'm going to turn the treble up a little bit. Right, hopefully that gives you some kind of demonstration. Maybe not pick the best track in the world, just one I had on a random CD, really, YouTube library stuff. But I thought that kind of demonstrated the bass is back on these, where, like I say, it wasn't nowhere near like that when I had them originally with that original caps in there. So these little caps, obviously, have obviously gone. Someone did say they dry out, obviously caps dry out, and the small ones seem to dry out quicker than the bigger ones, and these are quite tiny little caps for the crossover, very, very small. So yeah, so lucky enough there for two people coming back to me with some comments. I've got these going as they probably near enough as they should be. Like I say, I will change the capacitors again in the future. There's no rush on it, whatever. I'll get around to doing it. I want to try and rest this eye at the moment. So that's it really. So quite pleasing now, especially now I can use this back on them if I wish. If I want to use these, I can use it with this amplifier. I haven't got to resort to something with a bit more power and a bit more guts. Because I was pretty, I'm pretty pleased with the outcome of this amplifier. I really am. I'm really pretty pleased of how it's turned out. And like I say, I was a little bit disappointed that these didn't quite go well. I kind of put reservations, thinking maybe I didn't do it quite as good as I did. But it's just the speakers letting me down. Okay, that's it. I once again say thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best, but I will be back with some bits and pieces here and there. Until the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and always see you very soon.